Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that sends the frozen ground swell under it and spills the upper boulders in the sun, and makes gaps even two can pass abreast. The work of hunters is another thing. I have come after them and made repair where they have left not one stone on a stone, but they would have the rabbit out of hiding to please the yelping dogs. The gaps, no one has seen them made or heard them made, but at spring mending time we find them there. I let my neighbor know beyond the hill, and on a day we meet to walk the line and set the wall between us once again. We keep the wall between us as we go, to each the boulders that have fallen to each. And some are loaves and some so nearly balls we have to use a spell to make them balance. Stay where you are until our backs are turned. We wear our fingers rough with handling them. Oh, just another kind of outdoor game, one on a side. It comes to little more that where it is we do not need the wall. He is all pine and I am apple orchard. My apple trees will never get across and eat the cones under his pines. I tell him, he only says, good fences make good neighbors. Spring is the mischief in me, and I wonder if I could put a notion in his head. Why do they make good neighbors? Isn't it where there are cows? But here there are no cows. Before I built a wall, I'd ask to know what I was walling in or walling out, and to whom I was like to give offense. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that wants it down. I could say elves to him, but it's not elves exactly, and I'd rather he said it for himself. I see him there bringing a stone grasped firmly by the top in each hand like an old stone savage armed. He moves in darkness, as it seems to me, not of woods only and the shade of trees. He will not go behind his father's saying, and he likes having thought of it so well. He says again, good fences make good neighbors. It's written in blank verse, unrhymed but metered. Boundaries again. Frost was not the champion free verse sought. He enjoyed the challenge and denounced the only kind of poetry the world today witnesses created. Blank verse poems are often written in iambic pentameter. The incident in itself is elementary. The speaker and his neighbor meet to mend a wall that closes one part of the land on the other. Over time, the boulders that make up the wall have been knocked down, leaving behind gaps created in mystery. Between groundswells and hunters, no one has seen or heard them made. The enigma allows for the interpretation that there might be a force of nature nudging man to break down Paleolithic boundaries. On this occasion, as the speaker balances the boulders, some so rounded that he'd need a spell to keep them in place, he finds himself caught between questioning the very need for a wall and appreciating it all the same. After all, the same person that scorns the idea apple trees wouldn't eat pine cones and there aren't cows to storm on to one field from the other, walks out every year to build the wall back up. Is he caught between what he would want and what he does want? He finds something inherently wrong in the whole enterprise that's described to be medieval by introducing elves and spells. And as he goes on to describe the neighbor as an old stone savage, the idea of confining and boundaries being a practice of the distant past assumes greater prominence. Many of Frost's poems can be reasonably assumed to comment on the creative process, which is as much building up as breaking down. And in some odd, twisted way, even as they contradict, they intertwine multiple times over. Perhaps that's all it is, building walls and enjoying the sense of self, and breaking walls to enjoy the sense of community. You need them both to navigate this world.